Morning, how's it going? I'm in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, and arrived here yesterday from Vietnam. Now, it was the last day of my visa yesterday in Vietnam, the 3rd of the 11th, that's where we are now. But as I just showed you at the beginning, a couple of days before I made the journey to Cambodia, I got my passport wet and it got water damage. Now, I looked online and there's mixed reviews. It does say on the government websites that if your passport's wet, then it won't get accepted. And then some people you read in certain reviews and they don't have a problem in that. So I thought I'd chance my arm anyway. Got the bus from Ho Chi Minh City to Phnom Penh, got to the border of Cambodia, and the customs officer at Vietnam wouldn't stamp my passport because of the water damage. So the guy from the coach, Giant Ibis, had done a wicked job, yeah, but the main guy off the coach, he went to the high officials in Cambodia and basically pleaded my case to let me into Cambodia, and they were gracious enough to let me in, knowing that if I'd stayed in Vietnam, I would have been overstaying my welcome, and then God knows what would have happened from there, basically. So I managed to get into Cambodia. I managed to get into Cambodia, and obviously now my passport's damaged, so I can't travel out of the country. It's not possible that I probably will get refused from Laos or Thailand. It's a different story altogether. Or I definitely might not get back into Vietnam. So I'm in a little bit of limbo, so I've got to go to the British Embassy, but I've looked online on Google, and as I always do now, I check out some of the reviews. So these are some of the reviews from the British Embassy in Cambodia, which I'm only about 30-minute walk away from. So one of the reviews that I've just been reading is, I won't mention anybody's name or anything, but it basically says, probably the worst experience in my life. I should be dead because of them. Have heard horror stories since of people being left to rot and die, and I very nearly did, even with the help of lots of friends back in the UK. And that was 6 years ago, so that was before COVID. And then literally the next one up is, how can you get emergency assistance when you can't even get through to the emergency consular assistant? Number gets given to you. She's been a victim of crime in Phnom Penh and can't get any help at all. That was 6 years ago as well. Someone else writes, absolute joke. Nobody ever answers the phone. I waited a week for a reply on a message. Didn't get the answer. That was a couple of years ago. They're all pretty bad, actually. There's not any good ones. No, right, there's a couple more. So it goes, someone else has wrote, complete waste of time, a pointless embassy. And then the message below goes, should close, it would be the same. And then the message below that, which is the most important message for me, which I find the most informative one, someone's put, has many palm trees. Which is good, because that means that if I'm waiting around for 4 or 6 hours, then I can sit in the shade at least. I do love Cambodia, I've got to say. Like, I'm on basically just on the hunt for a SIM card, because I haven't got a SIM card. I arrived yesterday and I didn't really look for one, to be fair, but I do love the people here. They're so friendly the way they approach you, and last time I was here they loved me, so I'm hoping that's going to be the same again. But a quick SIM card, and then we'll get to this embassy and hope to God we get what we want. We'll see. Little SIM card jobby. Hello, you sell SIM cards? This is the right one. Oh yeah, in Cambodia it's all tuk-tuks again, isn't it? Forget that. Right, let's get this SIM card sorted out. Hello, do you sell SIM? This isn't the first time I've been to a British embassy while I've been out of the UK. Many years ago, a few of us went to Amsterdam, went out, had a night out in Amsterdam, all got back to the hotel room that we was all sharing, and passed out basically. And in the middle of the night, someone creeped into the room, nicked all of our passports, took all of our guilders, that's how long ago it was, and left us with like a little bit of whatever and hardly any money, like 10 guilders or whatever. And yeah, so we needed to go and see the British Embassy at the time. So when we went to see them in Amsterdam, they were actually closed that weekend for refurbs, and there wasn't anyone else we could go and see. So we just travelled back from Amsterdam on our sort of driving licences and stuff, and pled our case with customs and the border patrol, and we got back to the UK basically. So that was a strike for the British Embassy. So let's see what they've got in store in Cambodia for us. Like I said, it don't look good, but everyone needs a chance to redeem themselves, I think. So I'll make my own judgment on what it's like. So let's find out. Doggy, no food's worth dying for, mate. Come on. Loving that squash banana. Poor little thing. Anyway, the British Embassy's supposed to be up here somewhere. Big old cash and carry there. Hey, what's happening? I think this has got to be it somewhere here. Just wondered if there's a walking bit. There's guards here. I'll have to switch off, I think. So, I didn't even make it through the barriers at the embassy. The guy gave me one of these. Help for British people. So, I'm just going to pull up at a little cafe now and have a read. If I need to send an email somewhere, I will send an email and try and get a meeting to work out what to do. If not, I think I'm going to have to apply for one of them emergency, the emergency passports that you can travel through 5 countries on, and then just try and work it out from there. But we'll see what happens anyway. Well, day 2, my second full day in Phnom Penh, and I'm still trying to suss out this passport thing. And I know, obviously, haste is the order of the day because I want to get this sorted out. But I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. So there's quite a few options that I can see. One is an emergency passport that you can get to travel to one country, and you can go through 5 other countries. Oh, watch out. Or the other option seems to be to just apply for a new passport while I'm in Cambodia, and when I reach my 30 days visa, just extend it for another, I don't know, 30 days until the passport comes, and then I've got a fresh passport. But there is one other option that I'm just going to try. So I'm walking down this road at the moment, and I'm going to seek some advice from one of the visa places to see what I can do with this passport, basically, what my options are. That's where we need to be, right over there. Okay, chocolate teapot. So we'll go with this one. Right, I've looked at all the options, and the best thing that I can do here is just reapply for my passport and send it from Cambodia back to the UK, and hope to God that the new passport gets to me before 30 days. So that's basically what I'm going to do. So I'll be chilling out in Cambodia till I get that back, I guess. Right, so I've gone through the overseas one, and it does say they're going to send the passport back, or you can arrange to pick it up from an embassy, but it's not giving me the option to do that. I had to get out of the room there. Just been researching all day about how to sort this passport out. I rung the British Embassy. They were pretty good, actually. They gave me the advice that I kind of knew they were going to give me, but it's just reassuring to hear that, you know, how it needs to be done is how it needs to be done. They also put me through to the passport office in the UK, the Gov UK site, to passport control. I explained to the passport person there my problem, and he said, just get an emergency travel document and fly back to the UK. And I said, yeah, but that's like, you know, X amount, that's £1,000 or whatever. And he went, no, it's free to travel. I looked online and it's not free. In fact, the document you need, the emergency document, costs £100, and then obviously you've got to pay for your flights and stuff. So I didn't really get the advice I was expecting from the UK. Like the British Embassy in Cambodia were pretty good. It just seems a bit crazy that if you've lost your passport, because there's 2 parts to it, lost or stolen, then you can get it renewed from abroad and they send it straight back to you, or water damaged, in which case They don't send it back to you abroad. It goes back to a UK address. This is the passport people in the UK. And kind of lost and water damaged, or damaged passport, let's say water damage, because that's an accident, yeah, wear and tear over years is just wear and tear. But let's say water damage, which is an accident, and losing your passport is also an accident. So how they can differentiate between the two accidents, I don't know. Stolen is a different thing. It should be stolen or lost and damaged, not stolen and lost or damaged, because there's a discrepancy there. Anyway, I'm not going to nitpick. I'm in this situation, and we're in Phnom Penh. So if immigration tomorrow give me a squeeze in some way, then I'm going to be spending 5 or 6 weeks in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. But I've got a funny feeling they're going to tell me to go home. That's what I think is going to happen. Hello. Nah, I'm all right, thank you. Nah, I'm cool. Of course, the other issue I've got with all this as well is my current passport that's got water damage isn't good enough to apply for an extension on my already 30-day visa. So this is why I think they're going to tell me to go back, because, as I say, I can't get an extension because of the state of it, which leaves me 30 days. So if it takes, 6 weeks to get my passport back, then I've overstayed my welcome. And the last time that happened, it didn't end well for me. So yeah, man, the UK for Christmas. I hope my brothers have saved my coats and my clothes. It's cold back there, man. Anyway, we still got tomorrow to work it all out. We'll see what happens. And it's actually Independence Day today here. That's why it's absolutely ram-jammed. I've been here, obviously, a few times this journey, but I was here earlier in the year as well, and I've never seen it like this. Have a little crossover here. Ram-jammed. There's a river over there. We'll take a walk down there later, because I think there's fireworks all the way along the river as well later on. Yeah, there's independence from the French colonisation, basically. That's what this is about. Apparently there's supposed to be fireworks along the river, but I don't know if I can pick them up, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sort of boats there across the river all lit up. I think they're the fireworks, although I'm probably going to be proven wrong, but apparently there's fireworks happening along here anyway. Right, let me explain a little bit of what happened there. Now, I had a wet passport damaged in the washing machine, as we've seen, and with a wet passport, you need to send that back to the UK before they can reissue you a new passport and send it out to you. Now, anyone that's been in Cambodia knows that, yes, you can send items out of Cambodia, but it's very difficult and it's quite a long process. So, in a stroke of luck, I lost my passport. With a lost passport, you don't have to send anything back. They just reissue one in the UK once you go through the gov.uk website. So a blessing that I lost it. So that's the actual issue that I had with that passport. I probably didn't make that completely clear. The knock-on effect to that was that I couldn't get a stamp in my wet passport. And I obviously would have had to have sent that back and waited 8 to 10 weeks before I got my passport back, and then I'm in the realm of overstaying, because there was no way for me to extend an extra 30 days without some type of passport or document. It's just impossible to do it there in Cambodia. Probably people that are watching this now going, no, you can do it in Bangkok and that. I know you can, but in Cambodia things work slightly differently. So I was caught between a rock and a hard place, so to speak, there. But as I say, passport was lost. What can you do? And the process happened a lot quicker, but that's not the end of the story. So I lost my passport and I spoke to the British Embassy. They advised me to apply for an emergency passport, which is one of these bad boys. Don't know if you've seen it before, but basically with this you can travel to a final destination. So I put down the UK as my final destination, but you can stop through 5 countries, and this is valid till August 2025. So an emergency passport that you can actually travel around on, but you're restricted on your travels. So I applied for one of them, but I was also advised that I needed to get a police report from the tourist police to say that I'd lost my passport in Phnom Penh. So to obtain this actual hard copy, I needed to get a copy of a police report. So I went to the tourist police, initially the first time, but they were closed because it was some type of holiday there. But anyway, the second time I went, I felt a little bit interrogated, because there was 5 tourist police sitting on one side of the desk and me sitting on the other, and it was actually an interrogation, like, where did you lose the passport? Well, if I knew where it was, it wouldn't have been lost. How did you lose it? I'm guessing that I pulled it out of my bag because I was looking at it so much, deliberating whether it was, safe to try and cross a border with it or not. And eventually I must have just pulled it out of my pocket and it fell on the floor in that crowd of people, basically. But it was such an interrogation. There was no good cop, bad cop. It was just a wall of like stern faces, like 5 tourist police. And it kind of made me a little bit nervous, basically, so much so that when I was writing the report out, I couldn't even write properly. My hand was shaking a little bit. And once I gave the report back to them, saying where I'd lost it, etc., they said to me, "This is no good," and slammed the paper on the table and said, write it again. And obviously, it's not my first rodeo with police, basically, but I was a little bit rocked in that situation because I felt out of my depth. I didn't have a passport. You feel naked without a passport as well. So I wrote down the second report and I was taking a breath between each letter. So B, spelling out my name. And like so on and so forth. So it took me some time to write the report. At the end of it, once I gave the report over, I was asked to make a donation to the paper that I'd used, which was only 2 bits of paper. So I gave a donation to them, and as we left the room, they all patted me on the back and said, if there's anything you need, feel free to come back, it's not a problem. So it was a little bit of a strange experience, and it did feel like a bit of an interrogation. I'm not sure how many people go there and report a lost passport, but I did get the bit of paper that I needed to pick up my emergency passport, thankfully. So once I'd applied for the emergency passport, in the meantime I was also applying for the new British passport as well, which I finally got. So I finally got both my passports. That was being applied for online. That went to an address in the UK and was then being forwarded to me, not in Cambodia, because I now had my emergency passport to leave Cambodia. So I thought straight away. So my British passport, that's being processed, that's going to an address in the UK. Got my emergency passport. Now what you need on your passport to get out of Cambodia is an exit stamp, and you can only get that through immigration. So I went to immigration, booked an appointment with them, had to come back the next day, went back the next day, gave them, filled out the paperwork, gave them my passport, and obviously I need an exit stamp as well, but I didn't have a photograph, a passport size photograph for their paperwork basically. So this is the second day, so I went, made an appointment to go back the third day, handed in the photograph, they processed the paperwork and told me to come back the next day. So I'm on day 4 now, getting my exit stamp for, sorry, we've got chickens behind us, getting my exit stamp for my emergency passport. So eventually I got that, and I left Cambodia and crossed over into Laos. Now when I crossed over into Laos, the officials there hadn't seen an emergency passport. Don't forget, I'd not had my British one, that come to me a little bit later on. They'd not seen an emergency passport, so we were kind of held up for about an hour at the crossing between Cambodia and Laos. We did get through, there wasn't any palm greasing or anything going on, so I went to Laos anyway. Eventually I've crossed over from Laos into Thailand again with my emergency passport, and the official at the passport control where they do your stamp basically, again, don't think had seen one of these, and he pointed me to a back room to one of the high officials. As I've gone into the high official, he's took one look at the passport. This is in Laos, I've not even got across yet, and he's told me that I need to go to Vietnam, which is, and if you know Laos, it's nothing's a 5-minute drive away, it's a day and a half. It's not easy to get around. So he told me to go back a day and a half to get an exit stamp from immigration in Laos before I could cross back over into Thailand. So at this stage I'm having a right palaver. The bus that I'm on has got my bag in it, that's already crossed through the border. I'm not being let across the border, and I'm trying to explain to the officials that, okay, if you're not letting me into the country, my bag's on that bus, I need to go and get the bag. So he's gone, go and get the bag. So as I've tried to walk through the passport control, which was a different sort of counter than I'd gone to on the first one, the guy's gone to me, get in line. And I've tried to say to the customs official, look, no, my bag's on the bus. He's gone, get in line. So I've stood in line anyway, waited for about 3 or 4 people to go through. And he's took one look at my emergency passport, and he's gone, where do you want to go? And I said, I want to go to Thailand. And he went, bish, bosh, bosh, off you go, like that, and sent me through. And I can't really show you the passport because I don't really want to see the inside of it. But when you get the emergency passport, you have to write down the countries that you're going to and how you're getting there. So I've done all land crossings from Cambodia to Laos, Laos to Thailand, and then flying from Thailand to the UK, obviously. That was the last part of the flight. So that's written down in here, and he could see that. So he stamped me and let me into Thailand. So I've had a bit of a palaver with all of this passport business, and I do look after my passport. If you followed this video, I'm sorry it's been a little bit talky, but my only really advice to you is don't put your passport in the wash, don't lose your passport. Keep it close, close, close. Otherwise, it's a nightmare. It is. It's an experience, but it's also a passport nightmare. Well, my friends, that is all for this one. But until next time, keep your passports safe and keep navigating.